Visual art was my first love, and it was something that, my mom introduced to me. And so drawing and painting and came to me very young. But then one day I found poetry, and I found myself on a stage in front of a microphone.
So I want to take you back to when I was in 8th grade.
When I finished that performance, I felt so alive. And that's when I sort of stopped making my art and just focus on the poetry. And that's when I wondered, is there a way that I can bring art back into this? And so what I landed on was these childlike, loose, organic drawings, these line drawings. And I felt like they didn't take away too much attention from the words, but they sort of served as like the perfect partner that sort of balanced a page. It was my 3rd grade teacher who really pushed me to read. Reading in a way was kind of like my best friend. I did it like all the time, and our local library was 10 minutes away from us. And it's one of the only places that my parents, Asian immigrant parents, is the only place that they took me. And the library became a place where I would go to travel the world, to learn about experiences and things that I didn't have access to. And it's a place that allowed me and it inspired me to dream. I love how libraries are so democratic and so accessible. So in the West, poetry is not a genre that's a part of the mainstream culture. Fiction is. In the East, it's very different. Poetry is a part of mainstream culture, and it's accessible whether you know how to read or write or not. It was everywhere in the way that almost like music is. And I loved how my parents would recite me Punjabi poetry, and I would just get it, and it was so emotional. It made me confront a lot of different themes that I think that the poetry I read in English didn't. And so when I began writing my own poetry, I think I was sort of trying to do that, but in English. Some Punjabi poetry, it's always written to be performed and to be recited.
I am home. I'm not the whiskey you want. I'm the water you need.
When I'm writing it, I'm imagining how it's gonna sound on stage. It's always, the performance of the poetry is always like the final and last step. And I'm always amazed that, I don't just get to be an author, I get to be a performer, because that's actually where I fell in love with writing, was the stage. And I always tell my readers, come see me live, because that's where the work comes full circle.
Performing her poem, Broken English, here is Rupi Kaur.
And the father worrying about jobs and rent.
My mom, she didn't work because they couldn't afford childcare. I feel like so much of that labor is invisible, and it's silent, and it's forgotten, and I wanted to document it and share it. So I actually wrote that poem it was like an event for moms and their daughters in the Punjabi Sikh community. But as I've gone around the world and I've performed it in different countries where people feel it in the same way, which just goes to show that we're so much more similar than we are different. To me, it just makes sense for poetry to sit alongside other Canadian classics. For poetry to be in these archives, it makes it a part of Canada's permanent memory. It's such a deep honor to have my work preserved in the National Archives. To me, it shows that South Asian voices, young voices, immigrant voices, women's voices, diverse voices deserve to be remembered, and it means our stories matter.
Library and Archives Canada is the custodian of the 5th largest collection in the world. In addition to serving as a repository of knowledge, LAC actively supports creators, researchers, and storytellers in sharing diverse perspectives and narratives. It encourages the exploration of the truths and stories that shape our shared history.
The Library and Archives Canada Foundation supports Library and Archives Canada's essential work in preserving and promoting knowledge and the understanding of our history and the cultures that compose the tapestry of our country. Join me in highlighting and applauding our impressive awardees.